Alright, today we're talking about Casino, which is basically Goodfellas with the crazy cranked up to 11. You got the same general cast minus Ray Liotta, whatever happened there. And I love this movie. This movie is dark, long, violent, and absolutely beautiful to look at. The color scheme is gorgeous. What Casino's really about is everyone thinks they're smarter than they really are. Ace thinks he can run Vegas like it's a math problem. Nicky thinks he can use fear and intimidation to run an empire. And Ginger thinks she can outplay everyone with tears and seduction and her old pimp boyfriend in her back pocket. But honestly, this movie set the Italian culture back 100 years. It did not do you any favors. So my heart goes out to you. I'm sure you don't want everyone to assume you're a violent psychopath gangster like these movies portray you to be. But hey, it could be worse. At least you look pretty cool doing it. And Casino has the same structure as Goodfellas, same voiceover style, same rise and fall, but Casino dials everything up. The money's bigger, the women are louder, the murders are messier. Growing up, Goodfellas was always the shit. And then once I got into Casino, as a young teenager, I was like, Casino is much better. It's longer, it offers more violence, it looks prettier, but there does feel like something is lacking a little bit than in Goodfellas. Goodfellas seems to have a different pace. Casino has a much slower pace in parts. Honestly, at the end of the day, I think both movies are incredible. I'd give Goodfellas a 10 out of 10. I'd give Casino a 9.2 out of 10. It's still incredible, but I find myself going back to Goodfellas more than I do to Casino in my older years. But everyone showed up. Everyone killed their roles. Sharon Stone was incredible, scary as hell. And Robert De Niro's character is a big departure from Jimmy Conway in Goodfellas. In Goodfellas, he's an old school Irish tough guy. You don't fuck with him. In Casino, he's a bit of a pussy. He's a Jewish gambling expert who couldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. And he falls in love with this call girl who runs his life and basically turns him into a cuck. He's a hard guy to respect. De Niro in this movie has peak quiet rage energy. He treats the casino like it's a high-end OCD shrine. Every blueberry and every muffin has to be measured with tweezers. And yet somehow he doesn't see anything coming. Like, dude, your wife's a cracked out con artist with a pimp boyfriend, and your best friend's a lunatic who stabs dudes in the neck with a pen. Ace is the guy who thinks logic beats chaos. Wrong. He thinks he can fix things with rules. Even wronger. His fatal flaw? He thinks being smart means you don't need street sense. The streets win every time. And then you got his buddy Nicky Santoro, and this guy is an absolute maniac. He's basically Tommy DeVito on crack. He's a walking definition of too much power and too small of a man. But I think Nicky is so damn crazy he would probably kill Tommy. In a fight to the death, I got my money on Nicky because he don't give a fuck. Nor did Tommy, but Nicky's level of violence is Mexican drug cartel level. Nicky would put your head in a vice till your eyeball popped out and stab you in the balls with ice picks. He'd even creep up on old ladies and shoot them in the head while they're eating dinner. Even that scene where him and his crew shoot up a cop's house. He didn't have one care in the world. Nicky was banging his best friend's wife, stealing from the bosses, starting turf wars, and narrating all of it like it's its own podcast episode. But the difference is Tommy was dangerous because he was emotional and impulsive. Nicky is dangerous because he knows exactly what he's doing, and he does it anyways. Tommy might shoot you in a bar, Nicky will wait, and then follow you home, and then bury you in a hole in the desert. Tommy's violence was more in the moment. Nicky's was premeditated. He'd have holes already pre-dug for his victims. He keeps a damn surplus of dead body holes in the desert. And apparently he's based on a real person. I'm glad I never met that guy. Dude was a straight up serial killer. Fucking Jeffrey Dahmer with wings in his hair and a damn tracksuit. So it's only right that his death was just as violent as he killed other people. He deserved that shit. I was not sad when I watched him go out. And this movie is really dark. It starts out like it's a party, but by the end it's like a funeral where even you get whacked in the end. Everyone gets whacked. It's like the Oprah Winfrey show with bullets. You get a bullet. You get a bullet. Look under your seat. There's another bullet. Everyone dies. The first hour starts out like pure Vegas porn. Neon lights, stacks of cash, and Robert De Niro narrating the movie like he's teaching a masterclass on money laundering. He's living the dream. Custom suits, caviar, running a casino like a mobbed up accountant with OCD. It's fun for a while, but then slowly you feel the floor drop out. After that initial dopamine hit of fast money and mob glamour, the film pulls the rug out. You realize every single character's a ticking time bomb. The only question is, how bad is the explosion gonna be? Nicky loses his damn mind and goes from being a loyal enforcer to being a goddamn gremlin on bath salts. Ginger's like a walking Xanax-filled hurricane of betrayal, draining Ace's soul and bank account while she throws herself at her ex-pimp. And the mob, they're just done with everyone. They start cleaning house. People OD, get buried in the desert, dying outside of motel rooms with crushed dreams and a mouthful of pills. Sharon Stone's character Ginger is like a damn cautionary tale on why you should never get married. She makes all women look bad with her character. And then you got Ace, who survives, but he still ends up alone. His wife robs him, lies to him, and breaks his soul in real time. His best friend bangs his wife, and the bosses turn on him the second it's convenient. And in the end, Ace lives, but he's not alive. He's just existing. He's stuck in some quiet retirement purgatory in his little pink suit, haunted by his memories while the rest of the world moves on. Casino's like a damn Greek tragedy. It seduces you with the thrill of the climb and then crushes your soul with the fall. And even if you survive, you still lose. The house always wins. But there's a lot of damn classic quotes and classic scenes from this movie, like the scene where he makes the chef count every single blueberry because the muffins don't have an equal amount of blueberries in them. And then you got the classic scene, my favorite scene. These two balloon heads try robbing the joint, but Joe Pesci shows up and says the classic line, "I'm over here now." That line inspired a generation of comics. Andrew Dice Clay built his whole personality on that line. He even named one of his specials, "I'm over here now." And the violence in this movie is revolutionary. This movie's one step away from being a snuff film. Like the scene when they catch those two cheaters and they take them in the back and beat their hands with a hammer. This ain't a movie you want to eat to because you might lose your lunch. And then you got the scene where they kidnap that guy and put his head in a vice until his eyeball pops out. That was a game changer right there. There had never been anything in a movie quite like that before. That's the craziest shit I've ever seen in a movie. And then the final scene when Nicky and his brother get beat to death with baseball bats. Nicky and his brother get lured into the middle of nowhere thinking it's just a mob sit down. Instead they get baseball batted into mulch. They don't even kill Nicky first. They make him watch his brother get beaten to death before they turn the bats on him. And there's no music, no build-up, just wet thuds. It's one of the most disturbing mob hits ever filmed. And it makes any scene in Goodfellas look like a damn pillow fight. This is a type of scene you have nightmares about. You could have seen this movie 20 years ago and still have nightmares about that scene. Just hearing the bats, how it hits the body, that's traumatizing in its own. But I'm kind of a sick fuck, so I thought it was amazing. I could watch that scene over and over again. Those mobsters are some sadistic motherfuckers. That shit was brutal. This is one of those movies, by the end of it, you just feel hopeless. Society is completely fucked. Casino's basically the end result when you give a bunch of idiots the keys to the castle and they screw it all up in real time. Ace Rothstein's the last one standing, but he looks like he's been spiritually waterboarded. All his control, his systems, his perfect suits, none of it saved him from betrayal, heartbreak, and the slow motion collapse of his empire. He's not a winner, he's just the least dead body in the desert. And that's the genius of Casino. It tricks you in the beginning, making you think it's another fun mob ride, but by the end, it's a cautionary tale about excess, ego, and what happens when everyone thinks they're untouchable. Every character gets burned by their own fire. Ace by his need for control, Ginger by her greed and addiction, and Nicky by being a homicidal maniac with the self-awareness of a brick. It's Shakespeare in a velvet tracksuit. And the final lesson is clear. Vegas, the house always wins. Even if the house is a baseball bat to the head. But yeah, I love this movie. It's right up there with Goodfellas and definitely in the top 5 Martin Scorsese GOATs. Somewhere in there with Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and Wolf of Wall Street. Departed is incredible as well. But yeah, I love covering these movies. If there's any other movies you'd like me to cover, just let me know. Tell me some of your favorite scenes or some of your favorite quotes. And to the rest of you, I hope you all have a good night. Be safe, keep your heads out of vices, and God bless.